Good morning. This is Butterboy, and I'm here at a park right now because I like disc golf. I want to throw discs at the park. The only problem is it's not a disc golf park. It's just a regular old-fashioned park with park things. But it's very close to my house, and I like it a lot. And I think it'd be kind of cool just to build my own little disc golf course here on a temporary basis, of course. Bring my own baskets, set them up, make it challenging, make it fun, put it on U-disc, and just see how that goes. So I'm here at the park really early morning, trying to scout out where I think the holes should go. I do have a few stipulations though on how this should be done. I only have one basket, and my brother has one basket, and my friend, the other Eric, has one basket. So in totality we have 3, but I want to make it a 9-hole course, but I also don't want to be moving the baskets around a ton while we're playing because that's no fun either. So I want to position the 3 baskets that we do have in strategic locations where they don't have to moved around a ton. They can essentially just sit there and we can just kind of play around them. Just generally speaking, the park isn't all that big, so if we're going to be slinging discs across this whole thing, we just want to be only probably playing when there's very limited people out here anyways. So during the summer months it is a little bit busier, but during fall, winter, stuff like that, we could probably come out here and there'd be 0 people. So let's see how it goes. I'm gonna just take a little walk around and see if there's anything I see that I like. Alright, so as I'm walking along the little path here, I do notice one feature that I really do like about this park is that there's a mound there. Pretty sizable hill. I think it's like a small sledding hill. So I want to put one of the baskets right on top of there for sure, so that'll somewhat of a hazard, somewhat of a challenge here. This park, like I mentioned before, is pretty open, not a lot of obstacles, so you have to manipulate what you have available to you to make it more challenging. So that's one thing. Plopping a basket right on top of there leads for more challenging putting, more challenging approaches, potential for rollaway discs and stuff like that. Another thing too is what I'm seeing is I'm gonna walk in this track is on the entire path itself. I think the actual path itself will play as a river, I think, but we're also probably going to tee off from it. So the path itself, if your disc lands on it, it's OB, and you're just going to be taking a penalty stroke there. I'm also thinking probably going to put a couple mandos in to make things more challenging and force people to use more technical lines. So there's a few play structures. Well, there's one play structure and then there's one swing set here. Obviously those areas will be considered OB, so they have the nice like wood chip areas. I'll show you real quick. So like there, wood chips, all that will always be considered OB. Same thing there, all that will all be OB. So those will be a couple more things we've got to work around. But also there's just this big old open field here. Soccer field with the goals. So we're going to have some opportunity to have a few of the holes that are just going to be, you're just going to be slinging across the entire field. Probably some par 4s, maybe even a par 5 across the entire park. Would be kind of cool. So, alright, let's go over to the other side real quick, see if there's anything else cool about the park that I see before we start assessing where we can put the tee pads and drop some pins at. So as I'm walking here, I'm just trying to do a mental game plan of where I think some of the pins are going to be. So for sure, I want to put one now behind that play structure on top of that hill, for sure one. And then maybe one where this mature tree is here on the other side of there. And then the opposite side of the field where those other short trees are on the grass inside the path, perhaps there, sort of like a diagonal. And then the variability is really going to come where the tee pads are located at. I think that's where most of the course manipulation is going to be. So I'm going to walk around here. Maybe there's going to be some cool locations for tee pads over by the tennis courts. Another location that will be obviously considered 100% OB if your disc lands in the tennis court. That's just bad playing right there. On the north side of the park, near the tennis courts. Tennis courts are opposite to me right now. And I think, actually, so this is the north side. This is actually like a great launch area right here. You can even use things like this, little cracks in the ground, little grassy areas is easy indicator for tee pads. But this one like frames up the whole park actually quite perfectly. This will be probably the signature hole of the course right here. One of the later holes, maybe like a par 4 across all the way across or something like that. So we'll walk back to the car. I actually brought my basket here on my little wheels, a wheelie cart. And I'm just gonna set it up maybe in a few locations that I think would be cool positions for pins, and then let's try to just launch some discs at some potential locations and just see how it feels. All right, let's go. If anyone is curious about the setup that I have, this is the same thing that we did for the toboggan course. Got the dolly cart, stuff the basket back in there too, and just wheel this guy around. It's actually not that bad wheeling it around on flat ground. It was that toboggan that we were having a lot of issues with because the hills are like 100-foot hills and it was like 90 degrees. So let's get this thing out of here. See that at all? Oh boy. This is kind of nice. Very convenient. But also here, I'm going to show you this real quick. This little alleyway here that goes towards the parking lot over there. I think I'm going to make this a little mini fairway here. One of the later holes. And that's going to go over to this where these 3 little trees are in the middle there. I'm going to put one of the baskets, the north basket, I think. We'll get back to that later. So as I'm walking back around the second time of the park, check this out. See the hill over there. These kind of trees frame up a nice little fairway here. And also, look what we have right at our feet is a nice little T-pad marker, a giant crack in the cement, which I think plays perfectly. I know it's really zoomed out, so it's kind of hard to tell the exact footage, how far away the basket would be on top of that hill, but I'm gonna guess around 250 feet uphill, which is a nice little start. And you got to kind of peer this little fairway here, so I think that'll be a good place to start. I'm gonna plop a basket up there real quick. All right, well, I just put the basket down on at the summit of this hill. Small hill, but I'm looking up here, and this is actually obviously you're going to want to put T-pad for 2 next to where the location of basket 1 is, so people aren't walking around the whole thing. So thinking if you can see my bag way down there, that's where T-pad 1 is going to be. Basket 1 here, and then I'm thinking let's freaking launch. Let's do T-pad 2 right here. Maybe move the basket if we have to, but let's do a giant hyzer shot over top those swing sets. Hopefully no kids are here. Well, if kids are swinging on that thing, we ain't playing here, let's be honest. Over top of the swing set, and that mature tree down there, that one. Let's put the basket right around the corner over there, kind of near the OB road. Gives a little bit more challenge, but that's a good, maybe 300 feet downhill, just kind of like a hyzer shot. A couple hyzer shots to start, so we don't want to be doing every single shot during 250 to 300 foot hyzer shot. That's not fun. You want to have the variability to make it more challenging. So hole 3 we'll have to do something different for sure, but I think that's a cool way to start. I'm gonna throw on this basket and see how I feel. I forgot to bring my tripod though, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show the throw. I'll see what I can do, but see how I feel. I'm walking back down over to my bag right now to throw on this basket. Oh man, tell me that doesn't look cool. Is that like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your entire life right there? That is just picturesque. Wow, it's like a nice morning summer day. It's beautiful out. The dew is on the grass. The basket is on the top of the hill. Wow, we are lucky to be alive. The difficulty of doing something like this is obviously you're in a public park sharing space with everyone else, and nobody knows what disc golf is. Nobody cares. Everyone just wants to do their own thing and be left alone for the most part. So I'm in this park right now, and there's one other person besides the tennis court players. There's one other person at this park right now, and he is right in my way of throwing this first line. He is a little old dude, so we're going to be a little as patient as we can. But this is probably the number one issue with doing something like this, if I had to guess, is especially a temporary course like this, is there's just people around. There's people in your way, and you don't want to hurt anyone. You don't want to hit a little kid in the head and have that on your conscience for the rest of your entire life. So I'm just going to be a little patient is all, and somehow we're going to have to try to coordinate times and days where we can come out here, and there's just going to be no people really, so we can just kind of go at our own pace, set up, and not have to be waiting around. Because that's the other benefit of doing something like this is essentially my own personal course, so I don't have to go out to frickin' firefighters and wait for a group of a cart of 10 people to tee off into the woods 150 feet down the fairway, and me sit there for a half hour waiting for them. So you get to come here. It's your course. It's your own personal little playground, in a sense. So just something to think about. Really wish I brought my tripod, because I wanted to show you the line. I actually threw it, like, I'll admit I threw the line really well. It's well short of the intended target. I'll walk over there. So I threw on hole 1. The fairway is skinny. I really like it though. You have to throw something. I threw a buzz, so you have to throw like a mid, kind of straight, maybe a little bit of turn, but you got to get this thing up high because it's got to get on top of this 20 or so foot hill. I'll show you where I landed, but it was a good line. I really like the hole. I think it's going to be a cool first hole. And let's see if we can make a putt. All right, I'm propping this up on my bag, so my apologies if the angle is terrible. I'm just going to see if I can cash in this putt. It is further than I thought. It is probably 40, 50 feet uphill. Well, I caged out. Oops. Caged out both times, and that's the fun of the basket on top of the hill, is there's potential for a rollaway. So let's see what happened on the other side. I threw 2 just because I always throw 2. We didn't have a rollaway. We're all right. We're 10, 15 feet away. So we'll tap this in slowly par. And now we're on top of the hill. No one's here. We can look down over here. This is where hole 2 is probably going to be. So let's set up a basket and we'll give this a try. Something I'll have to think about too when placing the pins is there's a big difference between putting a pin down at one location and then potentially a few feet away. You could have a much more challenging shot. If I was to put this pin even a few feet back, that kind of takes away a lot of the ace run line, because the hyzer line, the tree would get in the way, and also the branches are hanging quite low. So I don't even know if you could even theoretically get too easy of an ace anyways. If you were thinking that just trying to put it in a position where someone could ace it and they're not going to be pissed when they hyzer one right into this tree that would have gone straight in, that's just like not fun. I want to make it challenging, but you don't want to make it unfair and stupid. So as I'm up here on top of the hill again, the pin location of hole 1, tee pad of hole 2. I'm thinking, how cool would it be? Turn over here, trying to utilize the space, maximize the space that we have as hole 3. This is looking southeast in the park. This mature tree down here plays like a peninsula. So the tee pad of hole 3 could be down where the basket is right now, all the way down there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Right there. Probably on the cement over there. Play across this entire area here and put the pin on the other side of that mature tree. But to make things more challenging, from that perspective, if you can, it'll make probably more sense after I throw here. But that entire side over there will be OB. Play it like a lake or something with a drop zone. So you got to get across to this little peninsula location to see if you can get your birdie on that one, make it more challenging. Just food for thought. Okay, so I just threw hole 2 from the tee pad on top of the hill, aka tee pad, aka wet grass. I almost slipped and died, I'm telling you right now. So maybe this isn't the ideal location. Obviously the cement path is ideal because it's basically you're playing on a long tee pad. You get as much run up as you want, which is awesome. I still really like the location though, so maybe we just don't play here at 7 in the morning when there's still a ton of dew on the ground, but I almost slipped and died and I'd have been rolling down the hill. So anyways, I'm gonna go. The tee shot was not great. I fluffed it because I slipped, but I'm gonna walk over there and see if we have even a putt. Well, there's 3 trees out here in the entire park, and I hit one of them. So that was pretty bad. It's par though. I don't know what, and that's a fun thing too, is that you don't really know. Move around here. Once this thing's completed, you have no idea how this thing's going to play. Is it going to be extremely difficult? Is it going to be child's play? I don't know. We'll see. So hole 1 basket is going to move down the hill over on this little peninsula. So just got to make a note to myself and to people who are playing. I'm going to probably do a player's handbook for this, because there's going to definitely be some notes that are going to have to be taken and paid attention to, rules that are going to have to be paid attention to, because this is not an actually disc golf course. So I'm going to set this over here and just make a mental note that there is at least thus far 1 pin move. This is the location of hole 3. So this is peninsula. This is definitely, if you are OB here and you take in bounds, you're inside the circle, so it's not too far. I don't want to put it too close to the edge and make it kind of really difficult, but it's definitely still close to the edge, and we're going to play it as this entire cart path, of course, is OB, but also everything to the right from this perspective is going to be OB. From the tee pad, it's going to look left. So there's a lot of OB on this hole, so you have to throw far, and you got to get the disc to the right, maybe crash it into the side of the hill if you want to play safe, get it a little bit closer to the play structure if you want to be really safe, and then do your pitch up for your easy par, hopefully. Not a terribly difficult hole, but you don't want to be OB. And also, I should walk down here actually towards my bag. Just by chance, this is actually, like, in my opinion, just kind of worked out perfectly. There's this dark patch here on the cement that is perfect for a drop zone. So you just kind of plant your foot on there. So right here, this is your drop zone. It's perfect. Don't have to diddle around with any flags or anything. It's on the cement path, and look at that. It's about 100 feet. That's a good distance for a drop zone, I feel like. So that's perfect. All right, let's throw. I'm trying to determine the location of the tee pad for hole 3. Originally, I was thinking, oh, let's line it up with the goalposts here, way back here. But then I'm also thinking, well, what if they move the goal, or what if the goal is gone at some point in the future? So I'm trying to think ahead a little bit. So I'm trying to get something a little more concrete, perhaps literally. There's no real indicator here on the path. So I think what I'll do is just make a rough mental note about where, just as the curve starts, for now, make a mental note of where I want to start this thing. This is actually a pretty far distance now that I'm looking at it. This has got to be over 300 feet, and the entire thing is basically OP. Might be one of the more challenging holes now that I'm looking at it. But I want to start the tee pad around here on the cement. I want to play on the cement as much as humanly possible, because, like I said before, I slipped on the tee pad, or whatever you want to call it, at the top of that hill over there, and I almost died. So try to stick the cement. This is actually a really challenging hole. Like I said, I'm going to have to make a mental note of where the tee pad is going to be, and then I'll do little flags. Maybe if we actually come out here and play, I'll do little tiny flags of where the tee pad should be. But also, you know, it's going to be on U-disc too, hopefully, so that'll help out. If you're on U-disc, you can just approximate your GPS location to the tee pad. Okay, let's throw. That was actually not bad. I don't know if you can see that at all, but I'll walk down there with my bag. Actually, it'll be easier. But I got it up and around that tree right there. I got it up and around there, and I believe it is safe. I'm gonna walk up there. If it's OB, I'm gonna cry. But that was challenging. That was actually really fun and rewarding too. So that's another thing too, is like trying to design this thing, but also kind of simultaneously throw it and see how. Oops. Turn that around. Simultaneously throw it and see how the discs fly when you throw it, and how you feel when you throw the lines. Does it feel rewarding? Does it suck? Do you suck? Do I suck? Those are all questions that are tough to answer right now, but that felt really, really good. I think it's a long putt. I don't even think I got that close, but the line was, in my opinion, the right line that I was trying to get, and I had to kind of finagle my way around that tree, so that makes it even more challenging to think because that tree's OB, so it's kind of like playing over a lake with trees in it. So that's pretty challenging. Think you might have a good line, and then you hit a tree, knock straight down, you're OB, and then you got to take it to the drop zone. Another thing too, real quick, that I kind of forgot to mention too, is this course is, because it's so wide open, it's pretty windy. It's not windy right now, But generally speaking, when I do field work here, it's pretty windy. Let's see where we landed. Oh, we got it. So we are safe by. It's close though. I mean, that was fun. Terrible. That's the risk of the OB too. So that first one was fine. I just hit the shot as a miss. But obviously the danger is you go a little long here. That second throw that I did there, it's 3 feet from OB, so it's cool. So I'm parring my way down the course, but I don't feel like the pars feel that bad though, which is kind of fun. When you get a par on a little piddly course, it feels like a bogey. Definitely, it's not fun when you're getting pars and you're just like, wow, I should be getting birdies out here. What the heck? And you're not playing great. But so far, I don't feel bad taking pars. I mean, I've had long looks on every single hole. I just got to put a little bit more beef on my shots. And I think I could be 3 down, like relatively. I wouldn't say easy, but it's definitely doable. It's not out of the question. Here's what I'm thinking about for hole 4. Let's just talk about it real quick. So you step away from the basket. I'm sorry about the camera, everyone. You're just getting a good close up of my nose. So I do notice. Let me turn this camera around. There is the basket to hole 3 we just played. There's also this nice crack in the ground here that could be used as a tee pad. So I'm thinking we just play back to the hole 2, which obviously is not there right now, but it was over there by that mature tree, if you remember. And we do, let's do the opposite, huh? Let's just say all the right side is OB again. So playing it like a lake with trees. And this, you just have to basically throw, I'm gonna guess around a 300-foot hyzer shot if you're a right-hand backhand player. So we could do that. And then you don't have to move. That's the basket on hole 2 that's being used twice without moving. This one has been moved once. I'm thinking maybe once you're done playing hole 3, you move it back on top of the hill and we'll throw it to it later. So make a mental note of that too. But for now, I think that's it. I'm kind of running out of time here, so we're gonna have to come back and finish this up another time. But I don't know if anyone at all is going to pay attention or watch this video. It's no big deal, but I just thought it'd be kind of fun just to do a little vlog style about building my first course, be it temporary, but that's okay. It's somewhere to start. I thought it'd be fun. So, all right, guys, I will talk to you later. Peace out. Change your heart. I'm going to play hole 4 because I got the basket right here on the trolley, and it's towards basically at the very south side of the park. So anything I'm doing now, I'm walking back towards the car. So actually, I might be doing hole 4 and 5 here. I changed my mind. My bag's sitting right here. I'm gonna wheel this thing back to what I believe to be the position of hole 2. I'm gonna play this one, and I might actually even do the next one too, because like I said, it's back towards the car. So let's go. So just realizing now that hole 4 is actually very challenging, because if you remember the location for the pin on hole 2, I'll put it right back where it was. But remember this guy? You're coming in from this direction. If you're trying to hyzer something in, you got this guy to deal with. That could be hitting a lot of discs, knocking them backwards, swatting them out of the air. Ooh, this could be challenging. You might actually need to do like the optimal forehand over top towards the OB. I don't know. We'll see what it is when we go down there, but this is actually looking kind of challenging. Okay, so I'm looking at it now. I'm at the tee pad. I'm turning this. Here's the crack indicator of the tee pad. I think you can just do a big old chuddy hyzer, and I think you'd be safe. I don't think it's terribly difficult. You could wrap around that tree, I think is the optimal line, because you got some junk this way. You're not getting through that way. I think the only play, which actually is kind of disappointing, is to do a big hyzer or something straight at the pin. You have to obviously get over. If you're going straight at it, you got to deal with hopefully there's no kids playing. But I think the play is just mega hyzer, which I don't even know if I have the power to do. I might have to short this one. We'll see. I don't know how far this is. This has got to be 300 feet, but you got to play like a big wide hyzer too, so that adds quite a bit of feet on top of that. So let's see how it plays out. Okay, safe, really safe. All right, so that was the super safe. Oop. My hand. That was the super safe route. I'll put it way safe. Hyzer, a chud hyzer. Way out to the left. I'm probably 50, 60 feet away from the pin, but I am safe. So that's the safe guy play, is to short it a bit. So you can, just depends on how greedy you want to be too. That's kind of fun too, is you can get greedier. You give yourself a way better chance to look at a birdie. It's just however you want to play your game. Do you want to play safe? Get an easy par? Or do you want to go for glory? Try to wrap around that tree over there and get a birdie. Or get an ace. Look, there's not a ton of stuff in the way, but there's some junk in the way. Let's see where I landed. So there's the basket again. I'm way over yonder. Somewhere. Am I pin high? Oh, I actually, whoops. Yeah, I'm past the pin. Actually, that's not a terrible look, but it's, you ram something off the top of the basket or something, you're going OB. Terrible. Wow, even worse. Yeah, don't take any putting, especially today. That was not great. I've hit metal on almost every one though, I think. So that's an easy tap in 3 again. So through 4 holes, if we were playing this respectable, I would say that we're playing even. So I think you gotta get at least 1 or 2 birdies on these first ones here to make it respectable. But okay, so I'm thinking hole 5. Here we go. This is where the third basket comes into play, because we've only been playing on the south side of the park thus far this entire time. 4 holes, and we've only utilized a tiny little bit of square footage. So here we go, hole 5. Just a big old stock hyzer to get us to the other side of the field for once, and then we can play around over there a little bit. But here we even have, okay, here we go. I know it's uphill a little bit, run up, but here's a tee pad right here. Cement tee pad, and I'm thinking, I think I mentioned it earlier, but I'm gonna put the basket behind the soccer net over there, near those trees over there. That one right in the middle there, perhaps there, probably about 400 feet. About 400 feet, I would guess. But this is what we can do to make it slightly more challenging, but not really. Is anything at the path and outside, regardless if you're left or right, it's going to be OB. So you have to basically play a giant mega island, if you will. But honestly, this is arguably the easiest hole in the course. There's nothing in your way, just wind. So let's set this one up, play this one, and we'll probably call it a day. Pins here. My bag is way down yonder. It might not be quite 400 feet. It might be a little short, but I don't know. I guess you just will help us out with that. But I'm going to walk back, and I'm going to throw in this one. Should be, for me, personally, should just be a pretty straightforward par, I would think. If I get one, I'm guessing that's 400 feet. If I get one out close to the pin, it's probably not 400 feet, because I can't really throw 400. I can throw maybe 350. If I crank on one, get it out to 350, I give myself an opportunity, at least for a long putt, like I've been doing all day thus far. But hey, you never know. I think it's a good location for that pin, because then you can do a couple other little things over here. At least one hole over here. I don't want to mess around too much with the parking lot and the tennis courts and stuff like that. But if you're pitching back out towards the field, I think we'll be all right. Okay, maybe it is closer to 400. That was I'm curious how far that is. It was a decent little rip by me. It was not full max distance, but that was probably, I would say, a little over 300 feet. Maybe a little further, 300, 310, 315, 320, something like that. And I'm pretty far short. So maybe it's playing like 375, 380, something like that. Let's see if we have, again, a long putt. Every single hole thus far has been a long putt, which is actually encouraging that I'm not first try parking all these, because that's not funny. This is something that, come out here, you play it, and you can like start to learn the course, get better at it. So it's obviously I'm designing it, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm the master of it. That's for damn sure. So other people could play this thing and just break it apart in 2 seconds, I'm sure. Especially if you have a little bit stronger of an arm than me, I'm sure you could just break this hole in half. Break the course in half. We'll see. I'm gonna have some longer holes coming up here, though. Probably 7, 8, 9. They're gonna be at least par 4s. We're gonna be playing across the entire distance of this field and plus more. So we are short. Maybe it is closer to 400. Let me show you where we're at. So here is the D3. There's the basket, 50 feet. Oh, no. 50 feet. 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 50 enough oomph, not enough accuracy, not enough height. Really didn't have anything. So that was holes 1 through 5 right there. It was a good start. Tap this in for my lowly par to make it official. Okay. So I went even through 5, which feels okay. A lot to be improved upon there. But I'm gonna tear this basket down. So as I mentioned before, kind of trying to work around people here, but it's probably be down yonder. Gotta keep saying that, I don't know why. 7, so played here, and then 7, I think I mentioned it before, but over in that area there was a really cool launch area that kind of just opens up to the entire park. Launch from there, maybe down to the basket on top of the hill, and then for hole 7, and then hole 8 back down this way somewhere, and then hole 9 back down that way. I don't know, we'll see. We'll get to it. I'll get to it in another video, but this wraps this one up for now. So I'll talk to y'all later, and all right, see ya.